Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Oxa Ardyan Fathurozi. Today I'm going to present to you a presentation about morphology. Next slide, please. So the definition. Morphology is a study and description of word formation such as inflection, derivation, and compounding in language. That's the definition from Merriam-Webster. The study of morphology analyzes the structures and parts of words such as roots, stems, prefixes, suffixes, and morphemes. The two basic purposes of morphology are the creation of new words and the modification of existing words. Next slide, please. Word. Word is a unit of language consisting of one or more morpheme that communicates or symbolizes a meaning. Word can be divided into two, which are content words and function words. Next slide. Content words. Content words are words that carries and communicates a certain meaning. These include nouns, which is person, places, or things, verbs, which is action or state, adverb, which describe how, where, or when something happens, and adjective, which describe objects, person, or things. Content words are considered open class words, meaning that new type of content words can be easily added anytime. Next slide. Function words. Function words are words that specify grammatical or structural relations with a little or no semantical content. Function words are also called closed class words. They have articles, which is the, a, or an, auxiliaries, which are can, must, might, and will, or demonstratives, which are these, that, and those, and then quantifiers, which are many, few, little, and some. We have prepositions, we have on, in, to, or from. We have pronouns, which are he, she, they, or it. We have conjunctions, which are and, but, or if. Next slide, please. Morpheme. Morpheme is a meaningful morphological unit of a language that cannot be further divided. In morpheme, there are free morpheme and bound morpheme. Free morpheme is a word that can stand alone as a word, while bound morpheme require the presence of another morpheme to be a word. Free morpheme is like, fortunate, and desire. Bound morpheme examples in unlike, and the ly in unfortunately, and able in desirable. Next slide, please. How to identify morpheme? We have one morpheme, which is man, or is it just, we call it root word. We have two morphemes, manly, man plus the morpheme ly. Then three morphemes, manliness, man plus ly plus ness. And then four morphemes, gentlemanliness, gentle plus man plus ly plus ness. And then more than four, ungentlemanliness, which is have un plus gentle plus man plus ly plus ness. Next slide, please. Next one, we have affix. Affix is a bound inflectional or derivational element as a prefix, infix, or suffix, added to a base or stem to form a fresh stem or a word. We have the first one is prefix. Prefix is an affix added before the root of the word. For example, there is un in unable. Then infix is an affix added in the middle of a word root and is rarely used in English. We have an example here, passerby can be written in plural form as passers-by. We have the S in the middle. And then the last one is suffix. Suffix is an affix added after the root word. For example, the ly in quickly. Next slide, please. And then we have roots and stems. When an affix has been attached to a root word, it forms a stem to which other affixes may attach. For example, boy is the root word plus ish is the suffix. So it is boyish, it's called a stem. And then boyish, which is a stem, we plus it to the ness, which is a suffix. We have boyishness, which is a word. Another example is kick, which is root word. We add er as a suffix in the class. Then we have the stem kicker. And then we have the stem kicker. We add a suffix at the end s, and then we have the word kickers. Next slide, please. Bound roots. Bound roots do not occur in isolation and they require combination with another morpheme to be able to have meaning. For example, words of Latin's origins like vitamin, vital, vivacious, and vivid shares the same root, which is viv or fit, or that means life or to live. Latin roots does not have any independent meaning in English, thus their meaning depends on the entire word in which they occur. Next slide, please. Next, we have inflectional morphemes. Inflectional morphemes is a morpheme that does not change the grammatical category of a stem or a word. The first of the inflectional morpheme S is for third person singular present. In example, she waits. Then we have the suffix ed, ed is a past tense. For example, she waited. In the third one, we have the suffix n, which is a past participle. We have the example, she has eaten. Then the fourth one, we have the suffix ing, which is a progressive. And we have the example is she is eating. And then the fifth one, we have the another suffix s, which is plural, which is for plural. We have the example, she ate the donuts. And then the sixth one, we have the apostrophe S, which is for possessiveness. For example, Lisa's hair is short. And then the seventh one we have the suffix er, r, which is for comparative. For example, Lisa has a shorter hair than Jill. And then the eighth or last one is the suffix s for superlative. For example, Lisa has the shortest hair. Okay, next slide. Okay, so we have derivational morphemes. Derivational morpheme is a morpheme that changes the meaning and the grammatical category of words. We have the example for noun to adjective is boyish and virtuous. And verb to noun, we have clear plus ernst, we become clearance, and then singer. And adjective to adverb, we have exactly. The noun to verb, we have moralize and vaccinate. And then adjective to noun, we have tallness and freedom. And verb to adjective, we have readable and then creative. Okay, last slide. And other morphological processes, there are ways or processes to form a word. For example, back formation, a process of forming new word or lexeme by removing actual or supposed affixes. For example, the word edit was derived from the editor, and thus was derived from enthuse was derived from enthusiasm and etc. Then the next one we have compound, a process of forming a new word by combining two or more root words. For example, homework, bittersweet, mother-in-law, three-time loser, etc. Okay, that's it for my presentation. Thank you for your attention. See you.